What's up, guys? Tony here, and today I'm actually going to be covering a few topics. I'm outside in my backyard right now, so enjoying the weather. I'm going to be playing, well, I'm not, I'm going to be coaching some tennis later, so that'll be awesome. But I want to cover some topics. This is actually going to be a crazy week for me, so I'm not going to be able to edit and stay on top of things like I would like to. But I'm actually going to go ahead and cover three topics today. The Sega Genesis Mini, 10 games have been revealed, and also the PlayStation 5 and the Konami Castlevania collection. So, first, I'm going to talk about the Sega Genesis Mini. And I'm going to tell you that Sega, they are killing it. They're absolutely killing it. I'm looking at my screen and checking out the new games. I've looked at the new games, and I'm really excited about this in general. And I think it's going to be completely killer, the whole thing. I plan on getting one. I plan on reviewing every single game. I plan on doing a midnight release special and also doing a giveaway. And I'll review the system itself too. So be looking out for that later in the fall. So let's just cover the games that have been announced so far. The first 10, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, oh yeah, and we're going to talk more about that later. Space Harrier 2, that's alright. Shining Force 1, they need to have 2 on there. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Puyo Puyo puzzle game. Toe Jam and Earl, one of my all-time favorite games, period. Comic Zone, really hard, but fun. I love the style, I love the graphics. Sonic 1, duh, you gotta have it. Altered Beast, duh, you gotta have it. Gunstar Heroes, when I heard Gunstar Heroes and Castlevania Bloodlines, I was so pumped. Okay, so I've already talked about all that stuff on my channel. Let's talk about the new games. And I think Sega is doing a great job with releasing a few at a time and just keeping people talking. And they're going after third party. And I'm really happy and excited about the possibilities that could be released on this thing. So, first off, Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. Disney. And then also World of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Okay, so I'll talk about those two. When I think Sega Genesis, when I think good old classic Sega Genesis games, usually those are up there. I played them back in the day. I own them. I'm glad that I own them. I actually had the PAL version of Castle Illusion, believe it or not. I don't know why. And just really great games, really fun games, platforming games. And it's just awesome. They got some Disney games on here. So I'm thinking Aladdin, that's going to be a possibility, and The Lion King. Even though The Lion King is relentlessly hard, I think that those could be on the system, considering that Lion King is coming out later in the year, and so is Aladdin. I mean, it's kind of cool. The live action stuff. Okay, next title, Thunder Force 3. It's a shoot 'em up, and from what I understand, I don't know too much about it, but the shoot 'em up is actually a lot of fun from what I have heard and understand. It's one of the best on the system. Super Fantasy Zone. So I think that's actually an earlier Genesis title, and I love Fantasy Zone, and very colorful. It's a cute 'em up. What's up, Tipsy Land? How you doing? Hope you are enjoying your day. So Super Fantasy Zone, that's an interesting choice, but it's different than what's on the Sega Genesis Classic Collection on the newer console. So I'm excited that they're putting some different stuff on here than just the same old stuff they're putting on every single collection that they have. And I understand that you're going to have some of that because Sega, they're good about putting their big hits on these collections. Shinobi 3, what's the subtitle? Return of the Ninja Master. Now, this is probably the best one out of the three. and it's my favorite. Shadow Dancer is hard as heck, so I'm glad that they are deciding to go with this one. Streets of Rage 2. Okay. I'm not sure when Streets of Rage 4 is coming out. Is it coming out this year? I mean, if it is, Sega's going to continue to kill it this year. But with Streets of Rage 4, it makes sense, and Streets of Rage 2 is the best one out of the three on the Sega Genesis at least, I should say. And then this is another big one. This is one that I wanted to see. This is one that I think is like, oh man. And I actually think this one's better than the Super Nintendo version. Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim. And that's absolutely amazing to me that they're able to get that and get some licensing going on there with that one. And maybe they'll have two on there, but if not, one is great. One is great. I actually think that the sound on the Sega Genesis is better than on the Super Nintendo with this particular game. We all know that the Sega Genesis is inferior sound wise to the Super Nintendo. What's up, Dante? Yeah, I agree. Earthworm Jim is better than the Super Nintendo version. Sonic 2, no brainer. It's my favorite Sonic game on the Sega Genesis, at least. And whenever I first got my Sega Genesis, that was the first game I got. It was the pack-in, of course. This is also another big one. Contra Hardcore. I am not super familiar with this game, but I have seen a lot of footage, and I know that it is a pretty fun game. It's a little different than your traditional Contra titles, but awesome. They are just killing it. Castlevania. Tipsy Lane, I don't know. I don't know about that. That's a good question. Sonic Mania on the Sega Genesis Classic or Mini? I don't know. That's a good question. Hardcore is a good choice. Very, very good choice. And then Landstalker. Freaking Landstalker. I hate Landstalker. I'm sorry. If you guys are a fan of Landstalker, I just think the character is goofy looking. The character design is goofy. I hate the isometric view, but I understand. You know, it's kind of Zelda-esque, and there's puzzles and combat, and it's, you know, dungeon crawler, all that. So yeah, it's a good choice, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, freaking Landstalker. I knew you were gonna say something, Dante. Oh man, I'm not a fan of that. So I'm really, really stoked. So that's 20 out of the 40, and it's just going to be interesting to see what they release on here. I want to see Phantasy Star 4, Shining Force 2, other like non-Sega, you know, third party games that I want to see. I have made a complete list, but I mean, I'm pretty happy with the Bloodlines, the Gunstar Heroes, Contra, Earthworm Jim. I would like to see some Mortal Kombat on here. I'd also like to see some Street Fighter, even though that's probably not going to work. But yeah. Okay, next topic. So let's talk about Konami. Okay, and I absolutely love Konami. I just downloaded and actually did a live stream. Check it out on my channel. The Konami Arcade Collection Classics on the PlayStation 4. And just a really fun compilation. The games are relentlessly hard on the arcade collection from what I've seen and played, and I'm just not that good at them. So yeah, you can go and download it now. $20. It's a good price, good deal, if you will. So let's talk about the Konami Castlevania collection. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm very, very excited about this. This is actually coming out in May, and that's even more exciting to me because it said summer 2019. So I'm really, really May 16th. That's when it comes out. And I'm gonna get it on the PlayStation 4. I'm gonna live stream it. I'm gonna play every game. I'm probably gonna review every game on it. And there's more games I'm more familiar with than others, but that's okay. So let's go over the list. So you got Castlevania 1 on the NES, Castlevania 2, Belmont's Revenge, Game Boy, Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. So that wasn't on the NES Mini. That's kind of cool. Super Castlevania 4, Super Nintendo. I'm really, really, really excited about that. And I'll be live streaming that. I'm not very good at it, but hey, oh well. And then you also have Castlevania The Adventure on Game Boy. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Oh man, yeah, I'm really, really excited, Dante, about all these collections. And it's a good time to be a retro video game fan. It's a good time to play and just play. If you want to just play these games, it's a great time to be a fan. So Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2, that's on there, NES. Castlevania Bloodlines. So it's kind of unique that you got the Sega Mini, Sega Genesis Mini, and they have Castlevania Bloodlines, and then you also have this coming out on this collection. So Castlevania Bloodlines. I might make an argument that this collection is on par. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. I mean, if you're not a Castlevania fan, I get it. I'm a Castlevania fan, but $20 for this compared to $80, if you're trying to play Castlevania Bloodlines, this is a very good substitute. If that's all you're trying to play. Um, Also, the surprise Kid Dracula, the Famicom version, and um, there was a Game Boy remake sequel that came out in North America. It's actually kind of pricey, kind of hard to find, and this is just kind of a big surprise. It's a Famicom exclusive in Japan, and I'm just super, super, super stoked about this. I'm gonna be, what's up, Charlie Brown? I'm gonna be live streaming every single game, every single one of these games. I'll give you guys my thoughts on every single one of them, especially um, the Kid Dracula game, which is that technically part of Castlevania? I mean, is it? I'm really, really stoked about this, by the way, and super excited. Again, it comes out May. What did I say? 16th? Yeah, May 16th. And then also on top of that, there's a Contra collection coming out as well, and they have not released any details other than just the first few games that they have released to the public. Now, it would be interesting if they had Contra Hardcore on there. If they're going with the Bloodlines here, I could see them doing the Contra Hardcore with that collection too. And check out the Arcade Classic Collection. Haunted Castle. That is a hard, hard, hard game. I played it on my channel. Nemesis, Vulcan, Venture, Salamander, Thundercross, Scramble, and Twin B are on that collection. And you can get it on Switch, PS4, Steam, and Xbox. So, yeah. I'm excited. Alright, last topic I wanted to talk about. And again, today I just wanted to do a quick live stream because I'm not going to be able to edit as much this week as I would like. And I did want to talk about and just share some of my thoughts with some recent news going on here with the retro world and actually modern world, I guess, with the PlayStation 5. So, PlayStation 5 specs. This actually came out last week. And apparently there was a pretty big, like, dump of information that came out. And basically this thing's not coming out in 2019. We know that for sure. Possibility 2020, 2021. We don't know for sure. And rumored to be actually not rumored. It is 8K. 8K gaming. And the price point is $4. That's the predicted potential price point. And apparently it's going to run like 20 times faster, if I'm not mistaken, than the actual PlayStation 4. And I'm not a big specs guy, so don't hammer me too hard on that. But the PlayStation's SSD is basically gonna like kill the processing load time, um, and you're gonna have to have at least a 4K television, I believe, and 8K gaming. I mean, I'm still living in 1080p world. I guess I'm gonna have to upgrade here soon. I know 4K televisions are like really, really, really cheap right now, and I probably need to just update and get one myself. But I'm super stoked about the PlayStation 5. Um, so it says here, so the PlayStation Pro, it had a 15-second load time for fast travel. We're talking like Spider-Man. And then on the PlayStation 5, it only took zero point 0.8 seconds. So to give you comparisons, that's Spider-Man. Spider-Man on the PlayStation 5 hardware compared to the Pro hardware, which the Pro hardware is pretty fast too compared to the standard PlayStation 4, which that's what I have. My PlayStation 4 it's going strong. I love my PlayStation 4. Probably do need to upgrade some memory in that thing. Um, let's just look at the specs real quick, and then we'll talk about backwards compatibility. So it's called AMD. That's its processing, or processor, I guess. And basically, it's gonna blow the Pro and the PS4 out of the water for loading speed, faster load times, and of course the graphics are gonna be absolutely gorgeous. And let's talk about the backwards compatibility. So I'm really, really happy about this, um, because the PlayStation 4 right now is not truly backwards compatible with anything. And the wind is blowing, I know. So it's not truly backwards compatible per se. You have some access to some PlayStation 2 games. You have some access to some, you could play PS3 through PlayStation Now and all that stuff. I understand that. But it's not like put a game in and just play. Now, what I'm curious about with backwards compatibility, so it's going to be PlayStation 4 backwards compatible. And my PlayStation 4 library has just blown up this year. I probably have somewhere close to 100 to 120 games now. I keep finding it for dirt cheap. So I'm very, very happy about that because I love the PlayStation 4. And I will probably retire my PlayStation 4 when the PlayStation 5 comes out. So my question is it going to be backwards compatible for anything else? I've heard rumors before this information was dumped that PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 were all going to be backwards compatible. Now, I understand that it's really, really expensive to emulate the PlayStation 2 software, but I think Sony could get around it by putting emulators onto their systems. And I'm going to tell you, they're going to make a lot of retro fans happy. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. I don't know. So 4 is the only one that's confirmed right now to be compatible, backwards compatible with the 5. So, is that going to happen? I don't know. Do I want it to happen? Yes, absolutely. So if there's any Sony people watching, please, 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 please make it backwards compatible with every single PlayStation system out there. That would be really, really cool. And I believe that it's going to be backwards compatible with like every game. So we'll see. We'll see. Now there are talks of like kind of like what the GameCube and then the Wii did, where they're gonna be like The Last of Us 2 or Death Stranding, all that stuff. They're going to have a PlayStation 4 release, PlayStation 5 release, that kind of thing. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, there is PlayStation VR compatibility as well. I'm not really into VR. A lot of people are. A lot of people say that PSVR is really, really good, really, really cool, and the exclusives are really, really cool. So we'll see. Um, and if you're into that, that's cool. I'm not downing you. I'm just not a VR kind of guy. And we don't know what PlayStation will do like with live streaming. I really, really like the live function on my PlayStation 4 personally for my channel. And it just helps me to live stream a lot easier. It's quicker. I don't have to buy a fancy big computer, all that stuff, gaming computer, laptop, or any of that stuff. And I really hope that they continue to do that service on the PlayStation 5. There's talks that PlayStation Plus will migrate over to the new system, and also your PlayStation ID, network ID, will travel with you. Kind of like what the PlayStation 3 did to the PlayStation 4. Now, unfortunately, I didn't know about that. I could have transferred my PlayStation 3 ID to my PS4. I didn't know that until like 6 months later. So I will actually be doing that with my PlayStation 5. And first party games. We know that, Last of Us 2, that's going to be awesome. I think that will be a release title. It makes sense. Let's see here. Concrete Genie. I never heard of that game. Let's just take a look at a list that could be on the PlayStation 5. Last of Us 2, that's the one I would think would be the big hitter. Ghosts of, I don't know how to say this, TSUSHIMA. I've never heard of this before even seeing this article. Yeah, that'd be cool, Retro Christian. Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077. That would be a good one. I would enjoy that. I've actually seen a lot of cool things about it. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Put that on there. Just freaking Square Enix, do your job. Unless they were planning on this all along. I don't know. I mean, they've been talking about this thing since PlayStation 3 era, and then we got all this stuff, all the footage and talks of it. I don't know. Yeah. Beyond Good and Evil 2. That'd be interesting. Neo 2. I think that's how you say that. Avengers Project. So that could be a lot like Spider-Man. Elder Scrolls 6. Starfield. That would be cool. So yeah. So those are my thoughts. And I think that, like I said earlier, it's a really good time to be a retro video game fan. And just a video game fan in general. This is probably the best time to play games. Now, we don't know what the future holds. And I still love the cartridges. I still love, finding the PlayStation 1 disc, all that stuff. But, yeah, I'm really excited about the Sega Genesis Mini. I think that's going to be killer. I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. I think Sega they're not going to flop like the PlayStation Mini, PlayStation Classic Edition. And I'm really, really excited about the Castlevania collection, Konami collection, and also the Contra collection. And the PlayStation 5 is going to be awesome. Alright guys, well let me know down in the comments below if you guys are watching this later. And just let me know what you think of all these topics. Which, out of these 3 topics, which one are you the most excited about? Let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this